What's going on YouTube? Welcome to a new video. This is going to be a study video, kind of how I like to stay sharp before poker sessions, studying on off days, on the weekends, in the mornings. It's a really good way to keep the game sharp. We're going to be using the Raise Your Edge paired app. I will have a link to this app in the description. I do work with Raise Your Edge. You've seen some videos with me and Ben CB before doing some coaching earlier on in the channel, maybe a couple years ago. I've been using their course and their training app called Paired for quite a while, so I am affiliated with them. I'll have a link that you guys can check out. So take that as you will. Call it an ad, call it not, but this is going to be a study video. And one of the sections is called Daily Drills, and you'll notice there's raise first in training, there's flatting and 3-betting training, there's squeeze training, post flop out of position, and post flop in position. So pretty much any aspect of tournament poker you're going to run into outside of ICM, which there is also an ICM tier of Paired, this app. But yeah, pretty much every situation you're going to run into can be trained here. Do 2 quizzes in each category. I think that's probably pretty good. Okay, so we're going to kick it off with the raised first in quizzes. So this is just going to be pre-flop, and it's going to be asking, do we want to raise or not, essentially. Oh, Queen 7, easy fold. Jack 8 suited, I think, will be pretty close here. I do think it'll be the bottom. All 20 big blind stacks. This might even mix, I think. I'm going to go raise. Yeah, it does mix. So it was the line. You can see Jack 8 suited, Queen 8 suited, King 7 suited. You are playing some of these, but Jack 8 suited is not pure, but I'm glad we got that one right. King 10 suited. This hand can be a shove at certain parts of the table. I'm not sure at early position we're going to want to shove. Maybe. It's definitely not a fold. It's raise or shove. I mean, I'm going to go raise just because we're early position, but yeah. That's the one. That's the one. See, I know that from previous quizzes. I'm not some sort of genius where I know for sure King 10 suited is the combo. As you can see, our range, I don't mind the fact that I chose raise so much, because if we look at our range, we're really not doing a lot of shoving here from early position. Like a few hands that are kind of natural, a couple of pairs, maybe some offsuit, good aces, and then King 10 suited. But you know, we're really not, we're shoving 1%. So honestly, if you could just eliminate these shoves and play raise only from early position, that makes sense. But if you ever have King 10 suited, you could go for it. But yeah, I don't know. Unlucky. Ace 9, gonna be raising. King Jack suited. Queen 9 offsuit. It's gonna be a bit wide in the hijack. Queen 10 or King 9, I think. Queen 10 or King 9? Actually, no, King 9 is a fold for 50 blinds. I think I would have clicked open, so I would have had that one wrong. I think for shallower stacks, King 9 might be an open in the hijack, but maybe not. 10-6 fold. King 7 raise. Pocket 7s gonna be raise. Now, what is the worst pair we would go? I'm guessing it's maybe 5s. I actually, when I play tournaments, I tend to just be a little bit tighter with these kind of hands, like 6s and 5s and 4s. It's just like, yeah. But let's see. Yeah, so well, okay, 5s is the line, and it's folding a lot. So like, I guess my adjustment in game of like probably folding 5s in the spot is not so bad, because it's already kind of close. Of course, if people are playing too tight and stuff, then it gets better, but yeah. King 8, raise. Good. All right, so yeah, that 9 out of 10 mark, pretty standard for raise first in. And when you do these quizzes, you get scored against other people. And you can see the leaderboard, see where you stack up, get into the second raise first in quiz. So the way I think about this, it's gonna be raise. The way I think about this is we're gonna have hands that wanna limp and then blow up the pot. And then we're gonna have hands that just wanna raise straight away because they're either a little too weak to limp and then blow up the pot, or they're too strong to just limp and have it go check. And I think king jack fits that perfectly, right? If we limp and we re-raise and then they shove, we're like, what are we doing, right? We're just isolating ourselves against ace queen, ace king, big pairs, king queen suited that doesn't want to fold. Like, we're isolating ourselves against that top tier of hand, and we're folding out like, you know, jack 10, which we want to play post flop against. So it's just right in the middle there. So let's look at the range and see that concept. So yeah, this whole suited portion that's just good just wants to just blow up the pot. Whereas you're gonna see some of this ace king, some of this aces and kings and queens, those are the ones that you're limping sometimes because you want to blow up the pot when they raise, you know? That's like a really nice way to play it. Ace jack, always raising. King 3, I think, is a fold. I think it's maybe king 5, king 6 here that we would open. King 5. Ace 9, always raising. Any suited ace here is going to open. Pocket 6 is going to raise. Probably folding 4s. It's probably 5s. Ooh. Maybe 4s is mixing. I'm going to guess 4s is mixing and then 5s up. Okay, no 4s, just 5s and up. Any suited queen here is going to raise. Yeah. King jack is good. 6-5, yep. Late position. Jack 10 for sure. Queen 6. Ooh. I think this is the bottom. I think it's the bottom. I actually think this one might mix. It might be queen 7. I think it's a raise. Nice. I think. Oh, it's actually queen 4. See, so this is why you always look at the ranges. Don't just, you know, don't just snap through these. You'll notice I'm trying to like guess the line in my head after a lot of these hands. I'm trying to guess like, okay, what do I think the bottom combo is? Because that's going to help you remember better, right? I could just open the queen 6, get it right, and then move on. But if I did that and I didn't check the range, I would have never known that queen 4 suited is also opening. And if I did this quiz again and I got queen 4 suited, I would for sure fold. So yeah, we got 100% there. You can see a lot more people on this leaderboard got 100 compared to the last one. Like, let's move on to flatting and 3-betting, which I find quite a bit trickier. Let's do it. Now we got to start thinking. All right, so we're getting shoved on for 20 against the big blind. Don't think this is the kind of hand that can call. This is a hand that does well. 3-betting does well. 4-betting does well. Going all in with the fold equity, but calling off, not going to happen. We're just calling off big hands. King, queen suited. We raise and get 3-bet by the big blind. Just going to call in position, I would assume. Too strong to fold, too weak to jam. Blind versus blind, queen 6 suited, just a call. 9-8 suited versus 3-bet. See, I want to fold. I do. Off these stacks from under the gun against button. And like, I feel like these used to be folds when you looked at pre-flop ranges and tournament ranges, but now like it's just, you're just so sticky. But I'm gonna go with my read. I'm gonna fold. Yeah, that's why I suck. That's why I suck. Let's see what the range is. Now it's a little bit tricky because you're actually folding king 9 suited, but calling queen 9 suited, just due to blockers, right? It's due to blockers. It's due to what sort of hands your opponent's 3-betting in theory. Bit of a, I don't know, a bit of a finicky, tricky range. I'm having a tough time taking big takeaways here, really, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, next question. King 8 suited. Under the gun versus MP. I feel like it's a fold. Let's see. This time I'm right. You can see I'm already tilted because these 3-bet pots really get to me because my tendency when I play like actual tournaments is that like I just call a bit tighter. King 8 suited, king 9 suited out. A lot of calling with some stuff that is more connected, suited stuff. Jacks, out of position. I do think... Oh, so we don't actually get an option to call. So it's going to be shove. I don't think this one benefits from going non-all-in a crazy amount. just nice to shove and like have them fold king, queen, fold over cards, stack stuff. Yeah, okay. So it's a bit of both, but mainly shoving here. This one, we 3-bet, get jammed on, folding. King 7 suited versus the 3-bet. I think we can probably call. The sizing is not super large. We have suited king, late position. In theory, they're going to have some pretty junky 3-bets, so I'm assuming this is a call, maybe fold. It does mix a tiny bit of fold. So it seems like kind of close, like king 6 is mixing some folds, king 8 mixing some folds. Another one of these ace 5 suiteds that we just get a weird kind of question. We saw one earlier where like the ace 6 suited, ace 7 suited, not really loving calling. I think this is going to be the same. Yep. And let's see if it operates the same. Yep, you can see these ace 6, ace 7, ace 8 out of position versus 3-bet. They're just not super happy. You either take the bigger ones or the wheel ones and do something. So we got actually 9 out of 10 at the end of that one. It started a little rusty with the 9-8 suited, but we worked through that one pretty well. And yeah, I mean, relative to everyone, we were kind of a step ahead. The second Flanagan 3-betting quiz. Let's do it. Queen 9 suited, we get shoved on. We're going to be folding. Ace queen, we get shoved on. Not loving it, but probably calling in GTO land. Okay, it does still mix. Like, yeah, I mean, these kind of signs when you say I'm not loving it, it's like, yeah, it probably should call some, or I don't know, it's awkward. And if it's mixing, that means like, okay. But also it means that in game, people are probably not shoving the hands that even make it close. You know what I mean? But yeah, ace queen, calling some, mixing some folds. You're also going to notice like pocket 8's folding, pocket 7's folding. Just don't want to call off super wide here. Pocket 3's, are we flatting against under the gun? I would definitely do so. Yep. Queen 9 suited. Now I'm kind of calling back to our last quiz where this hand did find a call off shorter stacks against the button. Yeah, let's see. I mean, let's see. See, this time it's a fold. This time it's a fold, and this is where it gets really finicky. Is because depending on what they're 3-betting and how deep we are, it's not like you call Queen 9 suited off 20, 25 blinds or 30 blinds, and then you call all the way up to 100. If they're 3-betting from MP versus the button, and if they're 3-betting deeper versus shallower, the combos are just, they get mixed up. And you'll see this time 10-8 suited is calling, whereas on that button 3-bet we faced in the last quiz, 10-8 suited was pure fold. So it's all about the mechanics of what ranges your opponent is choosing. Now I'm not going to go into a teaching spiel of how to figure out what to call, because it's something I'm working on myself as well. I think like, you know, in game, I probably would let Queen 9 suited go. I was changing up my answer based on the previous quiz, but yeah, just drilling these quizzes over and over and over again, looking at your opponent's ranges, that's gonna really help. That's gonna help you figure out the clues. Ace 3 suited. So this one's gonna be some calling and some 4-betting. I think it'll be. Oof. I wonder if it ever folds. Let's go call. I think calling is gonna be in there somewhere. So it's actually not 4-betting. Yeah, I was thinking ace 4, ace 5 would 4-bet. This one might actually do some folding. But calling, I think, would, if it was call or 4-bet, or if it was call or fold, or if it was call 4-bet or fold, I think it does some calling. So yeah, no 4-betting with ace 4, a little bit with ace 5, ace 7, ace 10. So we're choosing just some stronger holdings, some suited broadways, a little bit deeper with stronger ranges. This is why I find these ones pretty tough, is because the memorization aspect of all the exact combos is tough, I think. You can see how much it's changing just with one little position and one little stack size switch up. It's changing a lot. Folding. Big jam. Ace 3 suited versus small blind. Call? Maybe some fold? Yeah, well, it's a mix. It's a mix, but mainly folding. Like, generally, if I see something like this, like almost 80% of the time it's folding, you're folding. Ace deuce, get out of the way. Ace three, kind of close, but just get out of the way. Yeah. Another one of these, ace six, ace seven, ace eight. Let's just keep on the trend. These ones don't like to call out of position. We are a little bit deeper, but probably still a fold. Yeah. Ace king, facing 3-bet. Shove. Yeah, not as crazy of a percentage as I thought. You know, if we have shoves in a range, I figured this one would be like just kind of always just put it in there, but it is going non-all-in sometimes. Yeah, like the closer it gets to 50-50, the more mixing is, I think, something you might want to apply. The closer it gets to like 80-20, you might just want to simplify and go pure one way or the other. That certainly makes playing poker easier when you're actually on the tables. Mainly 3-betting, doing some calling. And okay, 75%, not as good as the other quiz. Only one person got 100%. But yeah, we can see we're a lot farther down on this list, closer to the bottom. So yeah, tougher quiz. All right, let's go into the next category. Let's go into squeezing. These quizzes are a lot of fold, and basically what it teaches you is that when the ranges are tight and there's 3 people in the pot, you should just do a lot of folding. Kings, I can either call or shove. Well, I'm not calling, so if I must. It's kind of funny how they mix up the range here. Like you do almost pure shoving. I don't think most people would play their range like this in reality. I think you just shove like everything because you have so many like weak hands that want to shove too, like pocket deuces, 10-9 suited. You want to shove ace deuce suited. You want to shove ace 5 offsuit. Like you just want to punish the late position open and call, take down the pot. So you also want the strong hands in here just for balance, except for aces specifically. Aces, you're not all in. So kind of interesting. King 3 suited. It's just a fold. What do we do with king 5 suited? King 7 suited. Probably fold king 5. King 7, king 8 might do some calling. King 8 does a little bit of calling. King 7 fold. Under the gun raise. We call on the button. Small blind squeezes to 10.5. Feels kind of close. I mean, they're squeezing against under the gun. I feel like it mixes. I think it's a call though. Pure call. Any pair. Yeah, not so good at this one, clearly. 10-6 suited. Are we going to overcall? Nope. Would we overcall 10-9 suited? I think that's kind of the interesting question here. 10-9 and 10-8 suited. If you're against under the gun and MP, do you want to call? Yes. 10-8 suited, if you have it, you're calling some. 9-8 suited, you're calling some. 10-9 suited, you're actually bluffing some. 9, not going to squeeze this as a bluff, just calling. 7-5 out of position, folding. Pocket deuces, calling. Pocket queens, out of position, jam. Can't go non-all-in. Calling out of position, multi-way, does not seem good. We have a hand that's just strong, but going post-flop 3 ways here seems wrong to me, so we shove. Is there any non-all-in or calling? No, we kind of just, if we have a good hand, we don't want to go non-all-in. We just shove out of position, shove our ace king, shove our premiums, do some calling with some nice suited stuff, some decent pairs, and ace 5 suited, always trolling around, gonna get it in. 7s, raise, call. So it's either non-all-in or call, and non-all-in is just uncomfortable, to be quite honest, so I'm gonna call. Yeah, we start to shove some good pairs, go non-all-in with the premiums. Looks good. All right, so we got 100%. Nice quiz. A lot of people crushed that one. Let's go on to the next category. We're on to the last two categories. Post flop, out of position. We get to play some post flop now. I'm sure you guys have been itching to do. If you look in the top left, you're going to see the action sequence. I'll try to kind of say it as well, but so this means there was a raise and a call pre-flop. That's going to be important for the quiz questions and how we're answering these. So queen 8, they raise, we call. Are we ever leading in the big blind? Not with this hand. Not with any hand. Ace deuce. Are we calling every single ace here? The answer is maybe. If there's an ace to fold, it's this one though. So let's fold and call. Okay, it's actually so this one's raising 11% of the time. I didn't think we'd want to choose to be aggressive with this one ever, but yeah, mainly folding. We can see some ace X folding, just like the hearts combos and the weakest offsuit combos on king 10. 9/8 suited. This one went raise, pre-flop, call. We bet the flop, they raised. So we're out of position, getting raised with 9/8 of hearts. Honestly, could do anything. I almost feel like we can click it, maybe do some calling. Yeah, calling's the worst option. I was running out of time. Now, I do want to say though, I said we could almost do anything, and this hand does do a bit of everything. Part of you wants to fold because you're getting raised and you have 9 high and you're out of position and you don't have that many chips. So you don't have a lot of room to make moves. Another part of us wants to 3-bet because we have good backdoors. They could be just like putting in a small raise with pocket 8s. We put a lot of pressure on. They might just be messing around. We're gonna have hands in our range like ace kings, ace queens that might want to get a lot of money in. So, you know, if they're going thin, we're gonna have these strong value hands. We gotta find some random bluffs. This would be the one. So I almost wanted to click this, but I got scared. Let's see the strategy as best we can. So yeah, like ace king, some ace queen doing the raising. You can see in the dark red. I know it's a lot smaller than it should be, but yeah, some ace 3 doing some raising. So we do have some of this raises, and then just like some weird like middling hearts combos also in there. All right, so pre-flop, raise, 3-bet, and call. We check the flop, they bet 4. So for some reason, we've chosen to check this flop. They bet 4. Oh, it's actually call or raise. I think raise. I think raise is good. Surely not, 0%. Okay, so let's take a look at the strategy. The reason why I chose raise is because we need, like, we have a pretty good hand relative to the situation, but we need protection. Like, we don't want to check call and any 10, jack, queen, king, flush draw, 8. Like, there's so many bad turns for our hand. Whereas if we have pocket kings, right? Let's say we have pocket kings in this spot. If we call, we don't need to worry about a queen, a jack, a 10, a 9 peeling off because we have the overpair to those cards. So that's kind of a principle that sometimes happens where the pair directly, let's say over the 8 in this spot, would be the most likely to raise because it's beating the 8, but it needs to fold out the overcards. But let's see the strategy. I mean, this is clearly all right, so this is not super easy to see. For some reason, I'm having trouble sizing this correctly. Apologies, but there's no raising here. So if we 3-bet and choose the check line, you can see we don't have a lot of representation here in this line. But if we choose to 3-bet and check, we're not raising this flop. We're calling or whatever. So there you go. No raising. Raise 2 and call on the button. Ace 10-8. Definitely good board. Probably going to stab this one a decent amount. Yeah, I don't think like... Oh. I was going to say, I don't feel like this is so good that we're not like mixing in a decent amount of checks with like 10x and broadways and stuff. But yeah, really not looking to check almost at all. King 8. We raise pre, they call, cutoff versus button. I feel like big betting and checking, but big bet looks good. Oh, wow. So there's no big betting here, and 80% checking. I should have just clicked check first, because I'm like, there's gonna be checking and something. Should have clicked the check button first, because that would have given me a nice score of at least 50%. I would have gotten this one wrong. The way I read this board was big bet or check, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just doing a lot of checking, maybe doing some stabbing. Okay. 10-8 suited. We're getting raised quite large. Got that one right. Another 3-bet pot, raise, 3-bet, and call. They check. Check or small bet. No small betting. Don't want to bet the 7s. Our range, definitely yes. 5s doing a little bit more betting. 7s needing a bit more protection. Ace Jack here, and we're going to check. Tough quiz. I definitely blundered on a few of those. Nobody actually got 100% on this quiz. So that tells you, usually at least somebody gets 100%. So that tells you it was a tough quiz, but that was not the greatest performance for us. Let's do the second out of position quiz. Called in the small blind. Are we going to lead this board? No. No, sir. King, queen. 3-bet pot. Small bet or check here. Mainly small betting, doing some checking. King, deuce. We're facing quite a large bet from the big blind, leading. So we have an overcard and a gutter, but we're not getting a good price here, not at all. I think it might actually fold even with the gutter. Let's see. Yeah, it's got to be a check, right? Clear. I mean, cutoff versus button is not my strong suit. We saw that, but it's got to be a check. Great. Is it a pure check? That is my second question. Is it a pure check with our range? No. 23% betting. We're mixing betting with pretty much every ace. We're betting some pairs for protection value. So yeah, you're gonna mix some bets. Is 3-bet and call. They bet 3.5 into 14. It's a pretty good price. I feel like we're gonna do some calling and maybe mix some folding right away, but I think call will be in there hopefully. Pure fold. Wait, eights is doing some calling, but it's this combo. You need the heart probably to call. All right. Ace queen, raise, 3-bet and call once again. We're facing a big bet in a 3-bet pot. These are tough questions today. I mean, we're facing large sizing. We're not thrilled. I mean, the range is just like ace king crushes us. Any of the wheel aces crushes us. Any of the pairs. Like, our equity against the pairs is not terrible though. Okay, sniped that on the last second. I was like, we should probably fold. However, if there's another option, I think we want to just run our equity. Another one of these cutoff button hands. We saw it before. It's a little bit of betting and checking. This one I could see doing more betting, but I think it's safe to start with check. Yeah. So yeah, this one, like we saw the queen jack, it's pure check. This one is mainly checking like we saw from our range before, but it is mixing in the bets. It's one of those that, you know, maybe wants, like, it has good backdoors, maybe wants to put in some money against like king 10, king jack, king queen. So I feel like we've learned something decent from this board. Pocket fives facing an overbet jam. Personally, wouldn't call here. Not really my style, but ace 9, raise 2, and call preflop. So we're flatting ace 9 offsuit against hijack. I mean, with these, I feel like we have to call anyway. Even without the suits against this price, I think we have to call. Maybe some folding, but okay, no folding. I thought if we're mixing it's into the fold, but we're actually raising some. It's ridiculous. King jack, same hand, raise. We flap the small blind. They bet tiny. Raise looks pretty good. Sizing though, it's like small, huge. Okay, yeah, I mean, these are the options I liked. I thought on this board we would maybe play more aggressive with this hand rather than calling mainly and raising some. I thought it would be like a lot of raise, maybe some call. So we got that backwards, but I think decent. Okay. Not my greatest out of position post flop performance ever on those two quizzes. Definitely struggled a bit. Let's go in position. And this is my lowest rating I have in my game. This is the one where I get the most wrong the most often. So maybe I can show up for for YouTube, but starting with a fold against the raise and the c-bet against the big sizing. Big blind versus button. Small bet. Very good. Oh, this is like the same spot except a little different and a little deeper. God, I gotta stop doing that. These really good boards, I keep mixing in check instead of mixing in big bet. Okay, I also thought like queen 10 wouldn't be a candidate for big bet, but apparently it is. Raise, 3-bet, call. They lead. We can either call, raise, or jam. Call. They lead jam 2x pot. Surely we could fold, right? Not pure. I don't know. I think in game, like, do I find the call king 8? No spade. Queen jack, cut off first button. We 3-bet. We are going to c-bet, hopefully, and give up some. Yes. So another 3-bet pot, raise, 3-bet, and we're calling. Pre-flop, we're calling, apparently. They bet small. This stack to pot ratio, 15 doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I think it's call or jam. Let's go call. It's call and jam. So I had that right. I had the numbers mixed. But yeah, like this weird middling sizing, not really happening much. Like you're either committed or you're just calling. And it's pretty close. I think, so in reality, in game, right? I think this 3-betting range for this stack is going to be pretty polarized. You know, people will choose like really strong hands and then bluffs. So if I'm personally, if I'm against a range of like aces, kings, queens, or like ace 3 offsuit here, I think I'm just calling. Like I don't see a ton of great stuff happening. Of course, if I like shove and getting ace queen to fold, getting ace queen with a spade to fold, or getting ace 5 with a spade, like folding out that kind of equity is worth something. Maybe they have like a random 7 or 9 that calls me off. I just don't think in game it's gonna work like that. So that's kind of why I like to call better, but yeah. On to the next. Are we calling shove here? Yep. Ace jack, just all in, looks good. Wait, let's think for a second. Are we just calling? Let's go instinct. I mean, shallow, top, get some protection if they're betting like king, queen. Instinct was wrong. I gave myself pause. I was like, wait, this could just be a call. I mean, our range doesn't want to shove too much. We have the ace of hearts and less protection. That's frustrating. Check, bet 4, jam, fold. Okay. Let's get to the final quiz. Cut off raise and c-bet, call. Ace deuce, range bet. Nah, this one's gotta have some check. Thank goodness. Thank goodness it wasn't another big bet and small bet. Gotten that one wrong a lot today. Big jam with the queen 10. Don't really need the info so much. Probably a bit of these, bit of both of these. Yep, bit of both of these. This one wants to check a bit more. Are we c-betting? Yeah, probably some. Mainly c-betting, some checking. Blind versus blind, they raise, we call. They c-bet small, we call. They went big, be pretty awkward, maybe folding some, but another small blind versus big blind. This time they c-bet large. We're gonna call. I think jack of spades too strong. The range is strong. I don't think raising is gonna do much. Kings, they raise, we call. We're going to bet mainly, I would assume. Are we mixing check? Yeah, we are. 50-50. I like this quiz better. This one is easier. It's just a feel-good quiz. And calling cutoff versus button. They bet half. Raising some. Raising 20%. I mean, I will admit when they size up past 1/3, I probably wouldn't find enough raises with my range here. Although it's really not a lot. It's only 6%. Which we could probably simplify into just not... Well, okay, I shouldn't say always when something is low frequency, you should simplify into not doing it. Because if you're in soft games and something is very clearly really profitable to just put money into the pot with, you should probably do that. So yeah, I guess the main takeaway shouldn't be that, you know, if GTO doesn't like it, never do it. But sometimes, like when I'm thinking in a GTO perspective of like, okay, this hand is doing this 3% of the time, there's just no way I'm executing stuff like that in game. So if my, you know, in game, if I get this spot and I'm playing pure call, and then I find out GTO wants 6% raises, you know, if I want to execute an easy to play strategy, not the most profitable, but an easy to play strategy across a lot of tables, you just take out the 6%. You just say, okay, I'm just going to pure call. Now, you might be leaving a little bit of money on the table with a few combos, sure. So that's where you can find your own exploits and do whatever you want to do that way. But that's what I mean by you can probably just pure call. So sevens, we have a set. I love this quiz. We run so good. All right, so we did great on that one relative to the to everyone. Some you win some, you lose some. So let's check out my ratings. I didn't help myself. Oof, I destroyed my post flop in position or out of position rating. So squeezing was good today. Raise first in is still good. My out of position post flop was pretty bad. My in position post flop was actually pretty decent today. But yeah, those are the daily drills that I love doing. You know, they release one a day in each category, and they're just really nice to keep up the practice and practice the different aspects. And you can learn some things. I think we did have some decent takeaways today. It's kind of a lot at once. Just all the different ranges, trying to remember everything. It can be a lot at once, but yeah, that's just one of the features of this app. And I hope you guys learned some things and had some good takeaways and enjoyed watching the study video. So yeah, if you guys want more like this, these are pretty easy to do. So you let me know if you like it. And yeah, let's just keep trying to get better at poker. If you guys want to check out this app, I will get a link in the description. You can check it out. Again, I'm affiliated with them. I will get a kickback if you guys sign up or purchase. So full disclosure, I'm not trying to be weird about this, but as you can see, it's a fantastic tool. It's what I use. So see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Let's figure this game out. Peace.